Your alarm shatters the silence at 3:45 a.m., and before the fog of sleep lifts, you are already reaching for your phone, because the money, a six-figure salary, is the reason you leave your family behind every fortnight. You zip up your swing bag with 2 weeks of clothes, steel-capped boots, and a worn copy of your roster tucked into the front pocket, the same ritual you have repeated dozens of times before. You back your Uda out of the driveway in the dark, the suburban street utterly quiet, the glow of your headlights sweeping across a wheelie bin and a neighbor's letterbox as you head toward the highway. You pull into the long-term car park at the regional airport as the first pale hint of dawn appears on the horizon, hauling your bag onto your shoulder and making your way toward the FIFO terminal. The FIFO terminal is already busy with other workers in worn boots and high-vis shirts stuffed into carry-ons, everyone clutching Mindside ID lanyards and paper coffee cups, the shared silence of men bracing for a swing. You board a chartered turboprop through the rear stairs in the gray pre-dawn, stooping slightly under the low cabin ceiling, finding your window seat, and wedging your bag into the overhead locker. As the plane climbs above the coastal suburbs, you lean your head against the oval window and watch the grid of streetlights shrink away below, knowing the well-above-average wage waiting at the end of this flight makes every early morning worth it. The landscape beneath you transforms into an immense, flat red expanse of outback Queensland, broken only by dry creek lines and the occasional corrugated dirt road vanishing toward the horizon. The pilot announces your descent into the mine's private airstrip, and you press your face to the window to catch the first glimpse of the enormous gray and black scar of the open-cut operation spreading across the red earth. The wheels touch down on the remote mine airstrip with a firm thud, and you taxi past a row of high-vis cones and a small shed bearing the mine's name, the heat haze already shimmering off the tarmac. You file off the plane and onto a waiting air-conditioned bus, tossing your swing bag into the luggage bay underneath, the dry outback heat hitting you like opening an oven door the moment you step onto the tarmac. The bus rolls along a sealed mine haul road through flat, scrubby terrain, and through the dusty window you watch the first enormous haul trucks appear in the distance, their scale impossible to register from afar. The bus pulls into the mine camp, and you step out into a grid of identical white demountable donga rooms arranged in long rows. The camp, a self-contained town in the middle of nowhere built entirely around the pit. You check in at the camp office, collect your swipe card and a laminated camp map, and wheel your bag down the narrow path between donga rows until you find your assigned room number pressed onto a white door. Inside, the donga room is small and functional, a single bed, a desk, a TV bolted to the wall, and an in-soot barely bigger than a closet. Everything you need and nothing you don't for 14 nights. The site's safety induction runs for 2 hours in a demountable training room, a supervisor walking you through emergency procedures, exclusion zones, and the strict no alcohol and drug testing policies that govern life on site. You gear up in the lamp room, pulling on your high-vis long-sleeve shirt and pants, steel-capped boots, hard hat, safety glasses, earplugs, and a self-rescuer unit clipped to your belt, the full PPE kit that keeps you alive in the pit. The pre-start meeting takes place under a corrugated shelter beside the workshop, the shift supervisor laying a printed hazard board on a fold-out table and running through ground conditions, blasting exclusion zones, and the haul road status for the upcoming 12-hour day shift. You walk out to the pit rim for the first time this swing and stop dead at the edge. The open-cut coal mine drops away in enormous terraced walls hundreds of meters wide, giant. Machinery moving far below like toys in a bathtub. You climb the three-point contact steps up to the cab of your assigned Caterpillar 793 haul truck, a machine as tall as a 2-story house. Settle into the operator's seat and radio the dispatcher to begin your first 12-hour shift of the swing. You are deep into the second week now, the days blurring into a steady rhythm of alarms, steel-capped boots, and the low rumble of machinery that never fully stops out here. You pull another 12-hour day shift behind the wheel of a haul truck the size of a house, loading cycle after loading cycle, the coal piling up and the hours ticking steadily toward the end of the swing. The excavator operator radios you into position, and you ease the massive truck under the bucket, feeling the thud of tons of black coal dropping into the tray behind you like controlled thunder. Mid-morning smoko, and you sit on the steps of a crib hut at the pit edge, unwrapping a sandwich, the mine sprawling below you in terraced levels as far as you can see in every direction. You rotate onto night shift for the final stretch of the swing, clocking on at 6 in the evening as the sky turns orange, exchanging a nod with the day shift operator heading home to their donga. Operating the dozer through the night, you push coal toward the reclaim hopper, the blade scraping and leveling in slow, deliberate passes, your world reduced to the instrument panel glow and the sweep of the work lights ahead. The dragline dominates the skyline nearby, its boom arcing overhead like a steel bridge as it strips overburden from the next pit block, a machine so large it almost doesn't seem real even after 2 weeks. 3 in the morning and the heat still radiates from the exposed coal seam floor, the Queensland outback holding its warmth long after sunset, sweat building under your high-vis shirt despite the air conditioning behind you. You think about the money during the quiet stretches, the salary sitting well above what most people earn, steadily accumulating in your account shift by shift, and it keeps you focused when the fatigue sets in. Day shift handover complete. You walk back into the camp as the sun rises, boots caked in cold dust, every muscle in your back reminding you that another night of heavy equipment operation is done. Dinner in the mess hall after sleeping through the day, the camp cook serving up a hot meal at the long stainless steel servery, the noise of the rotating crews filling the room with the low hum of people unwinding. You find the camp gym after dinner, 30 minutes on the weights doing something for yourself in a day that has otherwise belonged entirely to the mine and the roster. Back in your donga room, you sit on the edge of the single bed with your phone propped on the pillow, your partner's face on the screen, the connection buffering slightly, as it does every night out here. The silence after you hang up is the hardest part of any swing. The 4 walls of a donga room reminding you exactly how far from home you are and exactly how many days are left. Last shift of the swing, and you feel it in the air among the crew, a collective energy that comes with knowing the end is hours away. Your bag already half-packed under the bunk when you left for site. You hand the truck back to the oncoming crew, sign off the pre-start book, and walk away from the pit for the last time this fortnight with a quiet satisfaction that is hard to explain to anyone who hasn't done it. You shower, pull on civilian clothes, drag your duffel bag out to the designated pickup zone, and wait for the bus, the mine still grinding away behind you as if your departure means nothing at all. The bus rolls across flat outback scrub toward the remote airstrip, a sealed strip carved out of red dirt country, and the feeling of leaving is already changing into the feeling of going home. The turboprop lifts off the remote strip and banks south, the mine's open-cut pits and spoil dumps laid out below in the red earth, like something geological rather than man-made. And then you are above the clouds. You land, walk through the terminal, and your family is there. And for 1 week, the 6-figure salary, the 12-hour shifts, and the donga room all disappear until Sunday arrives and you pack the bag again.